Hello friends and followers. So here we are with the ham radio hobby again, amateur radio, and I'm going to attempt to show the Henry 2K-5D amplifier paired with the Yaesu FT-102, and I'll go over all the controls that I'll be using and why I'm using them. Here's a Henry over here, and we're going to attempt to run this thing on all bands that I have, which will be 80 meters, 40 meters, 20 and 15 meters. This Henry does not cover 10 meters. They blocked that out due to abuse by citizens band operators back in the 80s. All right, so the Henry is already tuned up on 40 meters with the FT-102. The FT-102 is already tuned up on 40 meters also. So you might ask, what does this entail to use this FT-102? We can go over that real quick. Get my chair moved around here a bit and go through it. Okay, on this FT-102, it's not too bad. You want to power it up and turn on the heaters switch, which turns on the heaters on the three 6146 output tubes. I don't tend to use these knobs a whole lot. Mic gain I do use for SSB transmissions. Don't really use any of this stuff either, although it might be useful to have the squelch running. Squelch will take out SSB. Oh, let's see, it might take out just ambient noise. Let's try it out. So I'm on LSB now, and if I try the squelch, probably only works on FM mode, so that's fine. At any rate, to tune this radio, oh, and you can see my microphone hack here. I did rewire the Motorola microphone to work on the FT-102, but I was unable to get all this stuff into the microphone plug. The problem is that these wires are very thin that come off the microphone, and so I had to really encase them in heat shrink to make them work. Anyway, this is a real problem. I have to figure this out later. All right, so let's get on with this. Basically, to transmit, you go to tune mode here to tune it. Set your drive power to drive in the amplifier or externally, and then you would hit this MOX button here to transmit. It's about that simple. So find some empty area here and get on with it. So with the antenna tuner, my antenna is not perfect on 40 meters, so I tend to use the antenna tuner. This is a 2 kilowatt Drake tuner, and so you set the band here to match what band you're on, 40 meters. Which is 7 megahertz, and then you can tune these for low SWR. So the first thing you do is you go to a set mode here, and on set, you want to set this meter to full scale with some transmitting power, and then do a read. And once you're on read, you want to turn these dials until your SWR is low. You want to get below 1.5 for sure, and see if you can dial it down to almost 0. So that's already done for 40 meters, and I'll show you a sanity check here. So we'll take the drive down on 40, all the way down, transmit. And now you can turn this drive up until you get some meter reading here. And I have nothing because, why? I'm on tune. Oh, there we go. And go back to set, there we go. And once you get full scale, and watch your plate current there, don't overdo it. Once you get to full scale, that's called set. You do a read. And there's your SWR. You can tittle with these knobs to decrease it. As I said, I have it down pretty low. So you simply turn these knobs to decrease the SWR. And that's about it. You give the Henry amplifier a nice playing field to work with. There, that's very low. All right. So now I can read this top meter, and the top meter is basically feeding out of the transmitter into the amplifier. And you really don't want your amplifier to present much SWR. So let's check how much SWR the Henry presents. Well, we have to turn it on for that. Let's turn the Henry on. So I had some trouble with the voltage on this thing. The main voltage was bouncing all around because in the last video I showed you a bad connection I had on that resistor that basically goes to ground on the bridge rectifier. So let's turn this thing on. Let's go to low power here. So I guess you want to tune on CW. This control here controls how much voltage goes to the finals. Okay, Henry's up. And the capacitors are balancing. It'll move around a bit as they charge up. So that's about 2200. Of course, you can goose it up to, I guess, 3000 volts here. Okay, 3500 volts exactly. Well, that's precise. Looks like it's going down a bit. Go back. So 2200 and about 3500. You can tune it on a lower setting here, lower voltage, because that's easier on the tubes and easier on the amp. Right now we're on 40 meters. I don't have the amplifier connected up to the radio, so to key the amplifier, I just attach this clip to the ground here, and you can see the plate current will kick up a bit. There is some bias on the 3500Z tubes, and you do want to see some current here with no signal. That's correct. All right, so with no input to the Henry amplifier, let's just validate that everything's good on 40 meters here with this radio FT-102. Go transmit mode here, and we'll work with the drive control, and you can see that I can vary the drive and vary the output. So on this guy, I can get more than 200 watts out. That seems kind of generous. And to tune up this radio, just like a linear, you want to do the loading, set it midpoint roughly, and dip the plate. So here's the plate, and you want to dip the plate for max power there. And you can watch the meter for the plate go down. The plate going down to the minimum value of current should correspond with max power output. In this one, it's close, but not perfect. That means you need to neutralize your finals. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, so there's our power out. If I want to drive the Henry now with more power, I can increase my drive to see how far I can get. I can go up to 125, and that's enough for the Henry. That's 40 meters. Okay. So how much power is coming out? You want to go here to 200 watt scale, and we can allow read the Drake. 200 watt scale is here, and let's increase the drive. So I'm getting on this Drake meter, I can pound almost 170 watts with this radio in 40 meters. That's pretty good. All right. So now, if you want to use the linear amplifier, we'll simply key it up and go with it. It's already tuned up for 40, and to run this Henry, you want to select your band down here. In our case, we're on 40. So this is moved back and forth for the band. This is your plate, basically, which controls this counter. You might want to mark that counter down where you are. And this is the load control. And right now my load is at 80. And you can put the meter into high voltage mode. Watch that. There's the plate meter. And I don't think my meter works on these other functions here. I don't think I can read grid current at all. Anyway, let's get on with it. So Let's key the Henry up now. Okay, the Henry's engaged. You got a little bit of plate current there. And now when I key this guy up, I should see some power from the Henry. 2000 watt scale. And the Henry is showing how much power? About 300 watts out. How much drive are we giving the Henry? Okay, we'll increase our drive now. And the Henry will respond accordingly. Now we're driving the Henry with about 150 watts and we're getting about 800 watts out. So that's pretty much how to do that on 40 meters. I could increase the Henry to SSB, give it more voltage. That's going to increase our output. So now we're in SSB mode, but you shouldn't retune in this mode. We'll just give it a real quick little rundown here to show. Take the drive down. Transmit. We're getting about 400 watts, 300 watts. Okay, let's goose up the drive. And you'll see that I can go to, I'm just being careful here, about 1200 watts carrier. And that's all I want to do with that. All right, I'm going to take the power back off on the Henry. Lower the voltage again. Unkey the Henry. And now we're good to go. So now we know 40 meters works. We can try 20 meters. So the first thing you do is move your amplifier to the correct band. Here's the amplifier. We're gonna go to 20 meters here. There's 20 right there. I haven't tried this amp yet on 20. Okay, radio. 20 meters, we just go here. There's 20 meters, we're low in the band. I'm gonna go to the midpoint. Listen, no one there. Okay, now we take our antenna tuner to 20 meters. There it is. Now on this FT-102, you want to basically get this pre-select peaked. Take the drive down, excuse me. You can move this around 20 here, I think, meters to get it close. And now we can attempt to tune it up. The first thing, of course, is to do a set. You want to get your SWR in line. We got to dip the plate on this 102 first. Let's do that. Transmitting, do the pre-select to get some drive. And dip the plate for output. There's the plate. All right, a little more drive here for a set. There's our set. Do a read. Now we're gonna dip this thing for less SWR. It gets no better than that. And that's all we need. So now we're resonant. Well, we're matched anyway to the antenna. So that's about it. Now it's time to work on the Henry, which I'm a bit fearsome, but let's try it out anyway. So we have for power coming out, how much? We have about only 20 watts coming out there. How about up here? Yeah, about 20 watts. Okay, let's give it some more drive. How much can we get on 20 here? I can get about 150 watts drive. That's enough for the Henry, I think. All right, so let's not torture the Henry. Let's keep it down low. Okay, we're gonna key the Henry up. Henry's engaged. Usually you want to take this load down and then sneak it up. So let's try it here. And just gonna try seeing what we can get here for a dip. So now you want to dip the plate on the Henry. So there's some drive. Henry is responding or not. It is responding. Okay, let's try and dip it quickly. I'm not seeing a dip. Not much of a dip here at all. No dip. Whoop, there's a dip right there on 20, right there. Okay. Should mark these readings down. All right, there's my dip. How much power coming out of the Henry? Wow. Okay. Okay, on 20 now, we're getting about 400 watts out. Give it some more load. It doesn't like that. Less load. Less load on the Henry. More load. All right, so we are getting roughly 400 watts out on the Henry on 20 meters. That's kind of cool. How can we improve upon that? We can drive it harder. Let's try that. Okay. I'm cooking my radio here. Let's try and drive the Henry harder now on 20. So there's 100 watts into the Henry right there. 100 watts in the Henry, we're getting about 400 out. And all I can really give it is about 125 watts. I'm getting 400 out. That's about it. Let's kick it into overdrive here on SSB mode. Increase the voltage on 20 and see what we get. Okay, let's try it out. That's up to 800 watts on 20 meters. Kick it back. Actually, let's kick it on. Let's try it like that. Okay, we're transmitting. Do the plate on the Henry. More load. More load. There we go. Gonna burn my antenna. All right, so. Whoa. The Henry puked. Just sparked up. Voltage down. Yeah, something puked in there. Try it again. Oh, it's not puking now, but it sure puked. So something arced in there. Was it a tube? I don't know. Take the drive down. Drive up. All right, so I got a bit of a spark on the Henry. Something fizzed in there. But it's still working. Was it a tube? I don't know. Still going. All right, let's try 15 meters. Whoops, there's 15 right there. There is a 10 position here, but there's no 10. All right, that's 15 meters. Back this off. And we're on low current here. Yeah, the Henry didn't like that. Voltage looks good. Can I go up? Voltages are still holding. Yeah, something sparked up in this thing. Okay. Overdid something. Take this to 15 meters. And do a set. 15 meters. Drive down. Let's see what we can do on this. We're transmitting, more drive. Let's resonate the driver on this thing, 12BY7, there we go. A little more drive, let's go for a dip. Whoa, okay, we got a dip here. A little more drive. go for a set or read. If 15 meters is very bad SWR. I can't seem to get this thing tuned down, can I? Oh, there it comes. So 15 meters, I'm in trouble here, I guess. Let's do a read again. A set. Okay, so why can't I tune this thing down? So 15 meters, I don't have much of an antenna here, I guess. Unless I cook the antenna. Which maybe I did. Yeah, I can't get it to resonate now. So maybe I cooked the antenna. Ah, that's why I'm on the wrong band. Okay. Go to 15. Do a set. Do a read. Now it's working. I am hoping. You got to be on the right band. Okay. All right, so that's all set. 200 watt scale. How much on 15 can we drive with here? On 15 I can get 110 watts out. 120. It's probably enough to drive the Henry. Let's call it good on that. Okay, here we go again with the Henry. On 15. We're keyed. And take the drive down. Give the Henry a little bit of drive there. We got plate. We got a lot of plate. Take it down. Don't want too much plate. Let's go for a dip. If we can find one. Okay, I'm thinking it's gonna be a shorter coil. Nope, got to the end. I don't see a dip here in 15. There's a dip right there. It's pretty sharp. Take load down. I'm not seeing much here. All right, well, I probably don't want to blow this thing up by trying to find resonance on 15 here. It's just not going to go unless I'm going too fast. I don't think it's going to work out. It's stable, but gonna give this a failure. I should read the book. Okay, thanks for watching. 15 did not work out.